So, namaste, good evening, adab, sasrikal. Welcome you all on this Saturday evening to People Conversations Episode 3 by Young Minds. Let me quickly tell you, Young Minds, a combination of young professionals and beautiful minds, is back again with People Conversation series, wherein we will be talking with two industry professionals. And let me tell you, they both are combination of beauty and brains. So first of all, before introducing them, let me introduce Young Minds quickly to you. So Young Minds is a company which is 15 years old and it is into HR services for the people, by the people, and every time and everywhere for people. We are into HR services, HR solutions, recruitments, trainings, and people conversations. And people conversations is one such initiative where we bring like-minded people together who enable us to fulfill our mission of enabling people to achieve whatever they want to achieve in their lives. And I am Shifali, I am the founder of Young Minds. So let me quickly introduce two personas of the day today. So first of all, we have with us Mr. Ashish Banka. Namaste, Ashish. So Ashish is a leading HR professional who brings with him dynamic 14 years of industry experience, which includes a lot of hard work, passion, awards, recognition, and finally people connect. He is currently serving Cradlewise, as you can see the man wearing Cradlewise uh, boldly. Cradlewise is a US-based startup at Bangalore, and also he is the founding president of HR Sampark, which is a non-profit trust which works towards humanity. So thank you so much, Ashish, for accepting our request and coming live at People Conversations by Young Minds. Our second conversationist of the day is Annie Mathen. So let us quickly know about who Annie Mathen is. She is from Mumbai, who loves talking about human capital, human kindness, human experience, and after all, human intelligence. She is currently serving as Vice President Randstad Source Right. Welcome, Annie, and thank you so much for accepting our request and to be a people conversationist powered by Young Minds. And ladies and gentlemen, before we start with the proceedings of the day, let me quickly tell you that the combination today who is going to talk today is going to talk about a lot of things which include success, failures, HR, career building, career shaping, because when I go through their journey, when I go through their LinkedIn profiles, of course, LinkedIn is, when we say a matrimonial biodata, LinkedIn is a biodata of all of us. And when I was scrolling through their biodatas, I could find, what they have gone through, how they have succeeded. When I was talking to Annie, she was sharing that her first job was an HR manager. So kudos to both of you. Thank you so much. And before I take command and I handle this button to Ashish, Ashish, my first question to you would be, because we are talking a lot about going to talk a lot about success, failures, experiences, learnings today. That as a beginner, when we are in a phase of choosing our career, we have a lot of things. I'll do this, I'll do that, let me think about it, and ye kar raha hai, ye wo kar raha hai, main kya karunga. So as a beginner, did you ever imagine that you will become an HR professional?
Thank you so much, Shefali, for the invitation, and I'm glad to meet Annie through this. Young Minds is doing a fab job, and kudos to you and your efforts towards the HR industry. Specifically, when we look forward, the journey is most importantly is that what we want to achieve and what happens. Unfortunately, we do not have control over anything. So if I have to start saying in one line that how do did I imagine? No, I did not imagine what will happen. Was I wanting it? Yes, I was wanting it, but the entire journey is between two words of wants and needs for every individual. The aspiration and the success which culminates of a lot of things is different for different people overall. So it's the journey between the wants and needs, and it defines how an individual wants to take its life through, end of the day. So I want to live it through honestly, whatever God has been kind, and whatever has little come forward my way, I want to cherish this journey rather than striving it harder and making it more difficult or ambitious. For me, I want to, at this point of time, I want to enjoy it and take it a day by day. That's from my end.
Awesome, great. Thank you, Ashish, for that, honest answer. Annie, what do you want to say about this?
Okay, so first of all, Chef Ali, thank you so much for inviting us across. And Ashish, though we shared, we met, I think, in the month of July, we shared the same vehicle together. He was sitting in front of me. I spoke a lot at the back, but I could not communicate with Ashish. And when I came to know that Ashish was going to be on the platform, I was so super excited. So happy to have you as a fellow, counterpart on this call, Ashish. I follow you on your LinkedIn, and believe me, I totally agree with you. I'm in sync that we all had a certain path to follow. From the time we actually passed out to every decision that we took, there were certain mentors that pushed us in the decisions. There were certain opportunities we lost, some we found. A lot of setbacks are probably when we start talking further, I can maybe many of us would be going through the same setbacks. And what you need to know is everything, there is a phase for everything, and you will get over it. That is more important. Thank you. Over to you, Shefali.
That's awesome, Annie. And after listening to both of you, when I go back to my early days when I was planning my career, so honestly, I never had a roadmap, and I never had a mentor. So what I knew was that I just knew that I want a beautiful cabin for me. Two, three phones should be there besides me, and I should be the boss. Only this thing was in my mind, and no clues what I am going to do, how am I going to do. My parents used to say, "ये तो 12th pass कर ले तो बहुत बड़ी बात है." So that was the feedback I used to get from my parents, and no clues what I have to do. But yes, journey has been beautiful, lots of ups and downs, and they always say that where there is a will. My passion was to sit in a cabin, and now I'm an entrepreneur and I'm enjoying a cabin. I have three, four phone lines with me, whatever I desired for. So of course you have to run behind what you chase, and that's how the journey has been for me so far. So Ashish, I would like you to when we are talking about HR, so you two professionals talking about HR and the industry, a lot of learnings and failures and all. So I would like you to start the conversation, and then we both will pull it up from there.
Yep.
Actually, Shefali, I feel very awkward to talk about HR because every day and every year HR is unfolding itself. There are thousands of students who are passing out. There are people who have built up a legacy. There are people who are aspiring to build up a legacy. So just saying about HR from a one perspective will not be the right idea. So I will give my 2 cents, which I have seen by interacting with all leaders, stalwarts, and whatever I learned over the period of years is HR. When we decide, when we pass out, when we say, when I passed out, HR was in terms because I was a peacemaker in my college and I wanted to study something which does not have a lot of theoretical pressure but also gives you easy money. That was the my thought when I passed out 15 years back. Slowly and gradually as we come, the beauty part of it is that today we have a lot of material which is available. We are aware about what is all about HR. So at this point of time, me, Annie, or anybody of all of us in that category, the basic first thing which we all will want to imbibe is to give away to the younger professionals who are there in the community. What we have gone through, we don't want them to make those mistakes. That is because this is our moral responsibility to ensure the community, the fraternity is strengthened over the years. HR comes with a shelf life. The trajectory is very simple. You start, you do operations, you do strategy, then you do business partnering, and then you consulting. And then you become visiting faculties in different colleges. This is the normal trajectory of an HR. For some people, it is very easy how you get it. For some people, it is difficult. But again, in people who, so let us first talk about, I will talk about the people who are aspiring to build their careers in HR, who are into colleges, who are studying more about HR. They are seeing we visiting a lot of colleges and they want to become HR. So let us talk about that category. I will touch base first, because that is the first phase where you sow the seed of an aspiration and career building. At that point, the opportunities and the challenge is very high, honestly. If I look back, the opportunities are there, but the kind of quality of the roles is very difficult. And then HR are generally happened to be, they are preferred from pedigree institutions. I did not do a full-time MBA. I never had an opportunity to, invest that much of money at the end of the day. I did an executive one. And when I look back, I hear people saying that it is most difficult. It is not possible. I am here just to give my example, if that means to anything to the audience, is that it is a very wrong notion. That pedigree builds your career. It is only a ticket to enter to a museum or to a wonderland. It is not a roller coaster ride. So that is, if you have the ticket, your entry becomes easier. Otherwise, you have to stand in a long queue, which has to be a free of cost. How you can enter to that wonderland? To end with my first thoughts, you need a mentor. You need to identify a mentor very quickly in your career, who will be becoming like a Sarthi, like a Krishna, who will guide you through all the war battles of Mahabharata. That is something most important which you need to do. And second is quality roles or brand. If you work with a quality brand and a quality role, then you are definite that there are less chances of your career being spoiled if something natural calamity does not happen. So जैसे बोलते हैं, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. तो अगर आपने सही सारथी और सही रोल पकड़ लिया, तो आप पेडिग्री से हो या पेडिग्री, मतलब कोई भी पेडिग्री, आई डोंट नो, पेडिग्री वर्ड कम्स दैट इज सिनोनिमस टू डॉग फूड आल्सो समटाइम्स. सो मतलब डज नॉट मैटर. एंड ऑफ द डे इट इज ऑल अबाउट कि आप क्या चाहते हो. आपकी मनस्थिति और परिस्थिति आप खुद बदल सकते हो. दैट इज फ्रॉम माई एंड. I don't think anything stops us that if we have not done this, we cannot do that. There are people who have built their careers even coming from a two-tier cities in India also. So for them, you just need to focus on this. और इसका कोई alternative नहीं है कि आपके पास mentor नहीं है, या आपने अच्छा role नहीं लिया, या अच्छा company नहीं लिया. अगर आपने ये नहीं किया, तब तो आप हजारों की भीड़ में खो जाओगे. तब आम नहीं बन पाओगे. मतलब हमें खास बनना है तो ये दो चीज करना बहुत जरूरी है.
I agree, Ashish. You have said a very powerful thing, because the myth is, अगर IIM IIT से कुछ नहीं पास किया तो जिंदगी बेकार है, जिंदगी झंड है, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Very beautifully you have said. And when, let me tell you people, that Ashish brings with him 14 years of experience. He has played roles with a lot of conglomerates, which includes Reliance, Compass, uh, Delivery, which are dream organizations for a lot of people. And he doing MBA from with a correspondence MBA, and he now currently heading the HR of a startup, which was his passion again to diversify his profile and work in a startup company. So knowledge, mentorship is what he recommends. That if we follow this, then there is no looking back, and there is no I'm just seeing an lovely insight, Ashish, a message from Fernandez. So people are actually liking also and following what you are saying. So any, what do you say about this, or would you like to add your sense on this?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to add. So I'll take it, one step further ahead. So I'll give you three, instances in life where it was a setback, but then I flipped it. So if you see, like in my case, I did pass out of MBA in 1999, and that was I. Ashish, I know you're smiling. I can see you smile. So after passing out, everybody has that dream that you'll join a very good institute, and you'll probably join as a management trainee, and you work your way up. Meanwhile, somewhere or the other, you'll find some mentor or the other. So well all my classmates went to Delhi, so I was also of the hope that I will go to Delhi along with them, but it never happened because my parents wanted me to be in Kerala. So then I joined a very small organization at that time. And when I actually put across my papers to them, your application, is when I came to know that they do not have an HR department, and they are very happy to take me as an HR manager. MBA at that time was very, very new. I'm talking about way back, right? So my parents were very eager I take it up, and I was not at all interested. But because I didn't have a choice, I took it. So that was the first setback I had in my professional career. That is my starting job, where I dreamt of joining as a management trainee. This specifically I'm putting across because there'll be a lot of students, who, for them, that's might be a dream. Many of them, when we take interviews, they tell us, like, they want to join as, directly as managers, and they want to have, huge package. So it doesn't work that way. You're joining a setup where there's no HR, you don't know anything. So the first, practically, 2 months went me meeting all the HR professionals in the city, learning how to, learning the edge of HR. So that's when I learned how, you need to make a personal file, there's leaves, how how you start an ESI account, a PF account. But yes, I flipped it across. That is, at least I got an opportunity to learn the basics, right? So if I had joined a good company, maybe wherever it be it, I would have not known the nuances of, how things. I actually knew how a software is created, how the inputs are put in. So those 2 years was amazing. And that is something, all over, I always mention that in any of my campus meetings, how you can flip a situation. Similarly, most of us, especially ladies, by default, we'll end up losing opportunities because of, either it's a marriage, or a spouse's transfer, or a childbirth. And I lost all those opportunities. In every instance, I lost an opportunity, and it was not easy to get a job, because somewhere, I got totally, there was, a stamp on me that I'm a healthcare professional. So it took a lot of time for me in various places. So I moved from Kerala, I moved to Calcutta. From Calcutta, I moved to Gurgaon. From Gurgaon, I moved to Pune, and now I'm in Navi Mumbai. So it was not, I mean, it's easy to say, but each place, you have to work on your profile again, you have to build up again, you have to create a new network. It's not that easy, but yes, it is a learning experience. So whenever, what I'm trying to put across to all those, who would see this as opportunities, not as setbacks. Flip them across. I actually lost a job also in between. I have got this amazing opportunity to go abroad at an age, where you think that you won't get jobs. I actually got a job to go abroad. It was one of the best hospital chains. This was around 2 years ago, and I had taken my flight tickets, everything. I was supposed to fly on the 6th of May, and that's when lockdown 2 came, and I lost that opportunity. So I actually was jobless for 2 months. Now someone at my age in career, who has valid industry experience, being jobless for 2 months is not a joke, right? So, but again, that I did not see that as a setback, because I landed up, getting into the best hospital chain in the country. I worked there for a year till I got this opportunity. So my setbacks, I flipped it, and that's what I would put across to everybody.
Amazing. That is so beautiful, Annie. So, friends, all those who are watching this, and I see people enjoying and mentioning in comments, without IIT, without IM, no career. My God. So, what I hear from you, Annie, is there is always a flip side. Ladies and gentlemen, who all are hearing this show today, let me tell you that Annie, in her first job, landed as a designation. Sometimes designation is a wow thing for us as an HR manager. So there is always a bright side, and everything comes at a cost. And today, Annie, with her experience, she is working as vice president. But for that, being a female, she never had looked back that I will not change a location, I will not sit without a job. Everybody has their own challenges. Everybody has their own set of mindset and their day-to-day life. But she has overcome all those things beautifully, and that's how Annie is working today proudly as vice president with Randstad. Great, awesome. Thank you, both of you, for sharing all this with us. Thank you so much. Now, coming back to you, Ashish. We have spoken a lot about our initial career, about as young professionals. Coming back to as Annie has already shared her setback. Will you like to share your setback if you have come across any? I'm sure we all are humans and we all have our own setbacks. So, whatever setbacks you would like to share with us, which will help us become better professionals, while we or our audience will, can take care of while they are in their journey.
uh, as you, I'm glad that Annie you picked up, specifically the attitude which you mentioned of changing, like how you say life gives you lemons and you make a lemonade out of it. I love that idea. How, and we all go through that. Everybody of us fight their own battles personally, professionally, mentally, physically, emotionally, existence wise. So we will talk about in this in terms of how do you balance your mental and professional. Very important, because sometimes you professionally, when I was a government employee, central government employee, I left 2018. I came back with an correspondence MBA, thinking I'll get a job in Calcutta. In 4 months, I appeared for 48 interviews in every part of Calcutta to get a job. I remember visiting a office. I saw an ad on newspaper. I went.
Ashish, sorry to interrupt. 4 months and 48 interviews. I
Yes,
heard it right.
you got it right. And I went to a place in north part of Kolkata where they were making the office, and I told you have the interview. So the carpenter told the office is not set up and you have come here for the interview. So specifically from there, and getting opportunities with Tata, Reliance, Voltas, and delivery heading their supply chain, and now with multinational patented product like Cradlewise heading their global HR. I always feel that life is always meant to bring a lot of surprises to you. What I have kept doing, I will focus on that, because mental challenges come where you fight with your bosses, you don't like the job role, location, retrenchment, paying slips. All these things will keep happening in a facet of your career. What I have kept doing and I keep doing now also, even though I am doing good or I don't be good, relationship, very important. LinkedIn, Facebook says connections. How do you build up the journey to relationships? It's very important. Connecting with people as an HR is very important. Second is getting the right kind of guidance from the right mentor, because if you do not have the right driver, he will always take you to deep, to graveyard. And the third important thing is, knowing your strengths. I remember one of my mentors, he is now Twitter HR head, Partho Lord. He was my boss in Geo, and I did not have that exposure to work in a lot of talent management practices with more operational and talent acquisition. So I was striving hard, fearing that I don't know about a lot of 9 box models or succession planning or assessment centers and all. And I was very worried that how it will my career will shape up. And it was 2017, not very long ago. He told me one day, and he saw me that I was puzzled. He called me up and he says, I see you worried. What is all about it? He said, and I told him, I don't know about it, and I want to build up career. I'm not from IIM, IITs. I don't have a full-time MBA. What I will do? And I was leading the TA for technology section in Calcutta for their East Zone with Geo. He told me, see, Ashish, your strength is people management, and how do you bring people together, new interventions, technology, rather than making your challenging aspects to a satisfactory level, you increase your strength to an exceptional level. So do something which you are already good at, so it becomes so powerful that other things do not matter. And what I see now after 5 years, I am same technical skill which I had. Maybe the overview, the learning, the knowledge expands when you have such lovely people like you, Annie, and so many other people. But end of the day, you realize that what you have been doing of relationship management and bringing people together, getting the knowledge from them and upskilling yourself, it's the most important thing. Because in HR, we all have to agree we are not very skilled. So playing on your strengths is very important. And the last thing is knowing where to stop. मतलब M विटामिन के पीछे अगर सब भागेंगे ADEI छोड़ के, then it will not work end of the day. So you have to realize that HR people look at is E, not employee engagement, everything else. What is left over in the company is HR for them end of the day, when we look at from business leaders perspective. So you have to know कि आपको क्या achieve करना है. आज आपका 50K का salary है, then you have to become it to 1 lakh. To become 1 lakh a month, what you need to do? To become 10 lakhs a month, what you need to do? So this is relevant for all the people. And the last thing, we all thrive in limelight. That is the sunlight for all of us to grow and become thicker and grow nicer. So जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. We all are here because we know this fact that if we are not seen, we will wither it away very quickly in our career.
So, Shefali, I'll pick up 2 points from what Ashish mentioned. One is the fact, in fact, 3 points. One, the fact, the importance of a mentor. Second is, networking. And third, I'll just add to that is opportunities. It's very, very important to recognize opportunities. There are certain opportunities which come, they knock very slowly and then they just disappear. If you don't notice, you will miss it, right? And there are certain opportunities that you recognize and then you should know whether I should pick it up or not. Like, I'll give you an example. Many of us, we actually get opportunities maybe out of the city we are in, right? Then that is a stand where we need to take whether we want to take this opportunity or not. Moving out of a comfort zone and taking up a job opportunity in another city is not that easy. And but yes, it comes with its own plus points. But so there are many people who actually reach out, and they ask you, like, I'm getting a job in this particular city, so is that a good idea, taking it up or not? I would always suggest go for it. Unless you do not try, you will never know. And there's always, you can always come back to the original stage, right? So that is one which I would always put across. So adding to whatever I just briefly put across what Ashish said, that that's how we go about, one step at a time in life, definitely. And it's all trial and error for all of us. It's always been in, and believe me, the journey will of course never be a bed of roses, but end of the day you get where you need to get.
I'll just add on very valid point, Annie, which you mentioned of location and this. Most of the people which we interview, and I interview almost around 10, 15 people a day, specifically in IT and non-IT sector. Most of them in HR, when we interview, they come back कि family के लिए हम लोग यहाँ नहीं गए. I want to clarify to everybody, family is your strength, not your weakness. Just do not put them across in the witness box that because of them you are not growing. अगर आप ऐसा बोलते हो ना, कमी आप में है, फैमिली में नहीं है. I always took decision which was suited for my career. Family will align. They are the only people who will align. Your bosses will not align. Your spouse will not align. And your parents will align end of the day. Because at that time when we start our career, we do not have spouse end of the day. So you should listen to your heart and follow your career. So it's like career को तवज्जो देंगे तब सब कुछ ठीक रहेगा. People come back. My father always, I met him and he always used to say कि तुम लोग को पेट काट काट के पढ़ाया है. I do not agree with this philosophy, because if you are happy, you can keep people happy. Unsatisfied mind cannot keep happy. And in HR, if you are unsatisfied, you look at all the successful HRs across the industry. When you talk to them, you feel good about it. There is a feel good factor. I go to so much of institutes. लोग बोलते हैं कि अब आधा घंटा में क्या सिखा देंगे कैंपस में बोल के. एंड ऑफ द इज आई ऑलवेज टेल देम, अगर सीख नहीं पाओ, कम से कम फील गुड फैक्टर आना चाहिए, वाव फैक्टर आना चाहिए. सो फैमिली इज योर स्ट्रेंथ. डू नॉट टेक उनकी वजह से अपना करियर जियोपर्डाइज एचआर में मत करना, बिकॉज एनी करेक्टली सेड, यू डू नॉट गेट सेकंड चांस इन एचआर. आपको जो मिला है आपको वो लेना पड़ेगा. I was in Mumbai. I built up a home. 10 years I spent, and I got an opportunity in Bangalore. I moved two months back with my mother. I locked a home out in Mumbai. That's okay. Tomorrow, if I get an opportunity in Delhi or anywhere, I will go. Family will align. Just do not make them the scapegoat. My request to all the professionals, because आप अपना काफिलियतों का इकरा उनके सिर के ऊपर मत फोड़िए.
Right. Correct, Ashish. That's wonderful. I think what you are trying to mention is a scapegoat. We generally take in a scapegoat. जब कुछ achieve नहीं कर पाए तो इसके सर पे डाल दे, उसके सर पे डाल दे, and we don't take that on us. So being an HR professional, you are teaching us to be authentic, genuine, and take the responsibility. Achieve किया तो भी हमारा responsibility, नहीं किया तो भी हमारा responsibility है. So I think
So,
very
Chef, I
rightly
would
said.
also add to this, so I'm coming from, majorly 18 years it's been healthcare only, right? So there are certain people, who have this misconception that, hospitals are defined by the beds. So you have like, 50 beds, you have, 100, you have 500 beds, right? So then they ask you like, I've got this opportunity. I'm presently working in a hospital which is 350 beds, and I'm getting this opportunity where it is only 150 beds. How will it affect my career? So I'm just trying to put across, it doesn't affect your career in any way and how many number of beds they have. It depends on the role that you take, right? How much that role adds value to your experience. This is something I've been drilling into many people from years, that it is not the number of beds, or how good the facilities of that particular building is. It's more important that you align yourself to the goals. It actually leads to your it gives you a focus of what you want to be, where you want to be, right? So that is, you can add this this context to other areas of your career, wherever you feel, where it is again the alignment of the role that matters and what you're going to benefit from that role. What do you say, Ashish?
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely second your point, Annie. Because end of the day, we are living in a VUCA world. We are living in a world of uncertainties. Tomorrow, what will happen, we do not know. But one thing which we should do is keep doing what is correct. Better becoming a great individual and a great employee, or the best employee. We should strive to become the best human being, for which we have come here for a purpose on this earth. We all have a shelf life. तो लोग जब अहम करते हैं, मैं सोचता हूँ कि किस चीज का हम, सबको तो 6 फीट बाय 3 फीट में जाना है एंड ऑफ द डे, राइट? Today what we will carry is all of us will wither away sooner or later, and that's the naked fact which we are trying to get into terms. Whether you take a trip to Maldives or you take a trip to Kerala does not matter, as long as you sleep at the night peacefully with no baggage on your mind. So I think HR professionals attributely, if we look at transform this into the angle that we talked about, what professionally they need to do, early careers and mid careers, we also need to talk about their mental wellness, state of mind. And state of mind is very important, Shefali, because आपको अपना मनस्थिति को strong होना बहुत जरूरी है. You will be challenged by a lot of things which is going around. People come back and say, giving again excuse that you are mentally not strong is not the right kind of excuse to build an HR career. जो सबको दिलासा देता है, अगर वही अपने आप को दिलासा नहीं दे पाए, तो फिर then that's a problem end of the day. So you have to be very emotionally balanced end of the day, and we will.
Ashish, let me quickly throw a question here to you while you talk. You are talking about that HR has to be a balanced person. And you spoke about lemon, life throws lemon, and you have to, cook lemonades out of that. I agree with what you said. But at times, we all are bold, we all are courageous, but at times we all have situations which we are dealing through in our lives. So how do you suggest that we all uh, have to be mindful, because we as HR, we have to handle first of all ourselves, then we have to handle the entire employees of the organization, businesses, departments, because life has to move on, organizations have to move on. So what is that one mantra that you would like to give us?
uh, when we are saying now, talking now, a couple of years or 5 years back जब हम लोग सुनते थे, तो हम लोग फिर सुनना बंद कर देते. लोगों को लगता है कितना ज्ञान आ रहा है, एचआर से सिर्फ ज्ञान ही आ रहा है, साइकोलॉजी और ज्ञान आ रहा है. बट friends and colleagues who are there on this call, we are sharing what we have gone through. Your life may be, we pray that your life is much better. It is not as troubled as what me and Annie have gone through. We pray that you do not face a lot of challenges, but life is unpredictable. And in HR, the only way you can fight out odds is to knowing an alternative career. If this does not work out, what is next? Because in HR, you in other industries or other streams, you can always change roles. Shefali, you can go from finance to sales, you can do finance accounting, you can do a lot of stuff. एचआर एक ऐसा डिपार्टमेंट है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली वहां से चेंज ऑफ करियर करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. There are only few instances where people have become CEOs from the entire HR, pyramid. Most of them either have to draw up a consultancy or work in a consultancy as a recruiter. my only humble advice to all of you is, in HRs, you need to have a second line of career related to HR, which you always need to parallelly, nurturing, because coming days HR jobs will be very qualitative, they will not be quantitative. So you will have a lot of people fighting out a single position. You see, if you apply, if you post a job in Naukri, we get the highest responses in HR, 600, 700. So my only advice to everybody is that अगर आपने सब कुछ सही किया और अगर कुछ भी सही नहीं हुआ, तो कम से कम अपने पास ऑल्टरनेटिव ऑप्शन जरूर रखिएगा, because then you will come back and blame the fraternity. It will not be the nice kind of idea. So always keep your alternatives. And one financial tip to end before I hand it over to Annie is, always keep your finances intact. Take a group medical policy at the start, so that you are securing the health of your parents and yourself, because that is the only way we can flush out all our funds. And second is, keep 30 to 40% of your salary as savings, no matter what it happens. In difficult times, these are the two things which will sail you through. Thank you.
Correct.
I
Any?
totally agree. I totally agree with Ashish on that point. The third point which I'll add to him is annual medical checkups. I'm a big advocate of annual medical checkups. Very important. By default, yes, I'm from healthcare industry, but every year for you and for the family, please ensure that the annual medical checkups are done. We've had many instances where on a casual annual medical checkup, we've actually come across incidents where cancer has been detected in many family members. So I would request you, and so wherever I go, I actually, and mostly for the ladies, because cervical cancer is today one of the leading, what do you call, most important health factor which is affecting women in India especially. So anyway, the whole topic was not related to that. Ashish, I wanted to ask you one question. I've never got a mentor. I've been searching for a mentor from the last 21 years. I've not got a mentor. Though thank God there are people who I have identified qualities in me that fall under a mentor, but I am searching for a mentor. So what according to you would be the ideal mentor qualities?
Thank you so much, Arnie, for asking this question. I got a similar question due to the digital media. Somebody asked me in LinkedIn that how do I find a mentor? Some young student has asked me. I also never got a mentor. What we realized over the period of years when we work with somebody, earlier days, we used to treat our bosses or our managers or our leaders as mentors, and we used to establish a relationship with them. Even though we left the company, they used to help me. That's how I got Emmanuel David, I got Partho, I got Neerav, I got Pankaj in all my employments. But today, how does somebody do? There are a lot of people who are eager to come back and help you. So mentorship is like finding the right maid to do the household work, if I have to put that in a layman's language. You cannot just say ki today I see the biggest of the HRs, he will be my mentors. mentors वो नहीं है जो सबसे ज्यादा चमक रहा है. mentors वो है जिसका रोशनी में आप चल सकते हो. सबसे चमकने वाला आपका आंख भी जला सकता है end of the day. So find somebody whom you believe, connect with them on LinkedIn, say that, hey, I am studying, I need your help. I am sure each HR will come back and say, please call me. And you develop a relationship with many of them. Suddenly you will find somebody invests in you end of the day, end of 6 months or 7 years. जिस दिन वो आदमी आप में इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू कर दे और आपका चिंता करना शुरू कर दे, समझ लो कि आपको मेंटोर मिल गया है. तब तक we need to invest in people to see where is the ROI coming from.
Totally, I agree.
This is so awesome. And I see that our viewers are also.
I think there's a little connectivity issue.
We will patch it up until Shefali joins back audience. If any questions are there from the audience, we would like to take it, me and Annie both,
Definitely.
with our limited information and knowledge. We don't claim to be knowing everything in this world.
No, no, please. In fact, I'd like to put across this that because of Shefali, Ashish and I were able to connect. So we had a nice, interesting talk. I think that was yesterday morning, and we both realized that we both have, a bond to Calcutta. So
Correct.
we had a nice time. Me in my broken Bengali, and he in his fluent Bengali. We had a nice talk in Bengali. We thoroughly enjoyed our chat. The fact that these social media is now giving us a lot of opportunities to connect with people across the globe. So I would actually encourage all of you all to be more active. There are so many people. In fact, off late, I noticed that most of my learning is from LinkedIn. I come to know a whole lot of things that are happening across the world. Even simple things that's happening in the news. Be it even protests, all and everybody has an opinion. It is so interesting. I recently put a post on LinkedIn. Like, do you read the post or do you read the comments on the post? And I got very interesting answers. There is somebody who said I read the comment first and then I read the post, right? So, and you'll find an extremely there are a lot of brilliant people also on these social media platforms. I'm not an Insta, but I think LinkedIn is what I can confine myself to LinkedIn, and very very active on it. I enjoy reading posts. Those people who would like to share their thoughts with me, I'll be most happy to be a part of their group.
I have got a question from somebody. Shefali, we were like to, we were making it up for you since you were not there due to technical glitch. A question which I have got, I would like to answer. Somebody asked me, I have been working with startups for last 7 years intentionally. That do you work with a startup in an HR in the starting of your career? I think working in an HR in a startup is a great idea. Specifically, not only you are able to stamp your authority right from the start, though you have to, you know, stress a little harder, but you are able to stamp your authority on a very initial level. The only gap which comes that the startup does not come with standard practices which you learn in a lot of established plateaued companies. But that's okay. You can all learn from that, from Google, from LinkedIn, from Skillsoft. Lot of courses are available. If you get an opportunity as a startup HR, that will differentiate you in the long run the people who have worked in plateaued companies, because your growth both financially and your growth in terms of your authority wise will be much higher than people who work in plateaued organizations. Over to you, Shefali.
Thank you so much, Ashish. And I'm apologies. There was a power backup issue, so I had to miss the session for 2-3 minutes. And I'm sure this is an unending topic. The topic which we randomly picked up today. People are enjoying it like anything. I am enjoying it like anything. So before we end up this session, a one-liner statement from both of you. As 2023 is coming up, I see a lot of people filling up the goal books for 2023. What is one goal which you have set for yourself for 2023? Any, first of all, I'd like to hear from you.
So I love making New Year resolutions, and I'll end up breaking all my New Year resolutions. So what I actually, the last 2-3 years, I have come up with a brilliant idea. So I come up with these one liners. Like last year it was live and let live. Then then the year before that it was no judgments. So in short, I don't judge you, you don't judge me. This year it was bring it on. Like whatever, let it come, bring it on. And for next year, I'm already ready. No regrets. Whatever happens, whatever I do, no regrets. So broadly, I could put it across there. The others will automatically happen as and when it happens. Over to you, Ashish.
Lovely, lovely, Annie. This is very interesting. In fact, I have heard some innovative thing after a long time. For me, I am not as innovative as Annie, but I have taken a pledge not for the only 2023, but all the coming years is to stay fit and stay healthy, because until our esophagus and our respiration system is on, we will be surviving. Everything become, otherwise we'll become a photograph very soon, end of the day. So, and also create awareness on a certain subject of a taboo. We had this year of around LGBTQI plus, which I did whatever I could do to create awareness, picking up a taboo topic every year, and creating awareness in other ways means to infuse sensitization to people, apart from the health a mantra which I have taken. So
Awesome, and I'm excited to hear from both of you. And while you both were talking, I immediately cooked out my mantra for 2023, and let me show you. So my mantra for 2023 is, I don't think it is visible. It is arigato life. That means appreciate life. Whatever we are
Yes.
doing, wherever we are, just appreciate it. And that's my mantra for 2023 and the years coming forward. So, before we end up the session, thank you so much, both of you, for giving us Saturday evening and very insightful session. I'm sure the audience had a good time, and I'm assuming that I'm going to get requests very soon that bring them back, bring them on. We would like to listen more from them because stepping in youngsters' shoes, then becoming a director HR, becoming vice president HR, then becoming a millennial. We all did in this session today, and that's the USP of today's session. So thank you so much, both of you again, and have a happy weekend. Namaste, and signing off from People Conversations.
thank you. Thank you so much, Shefali, for your time. It was really appreciative of you to calling us
Thank
because
you so much.
we also want us to be recorded because if we wither away, at least the generations comes to they will see, in digital media that we were existed. We will not become Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. So that's,
So before becoming that photograph, we should do whatever we can.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.